it wasn't until I decided, after my children were growing, that I really wanted to have some work that I could go to, because I began to see that it was important. And of course it was the women's movement, the years of the women's movement. But I did it mainly because I thought, we have 3 children to educate. Tuition was no longer $400 a year. And I thought, you know, we can educate these children, but there'll be nothing left for us. So I decided, well, okay, you know, I have this emotionally charged family. What am I going to do? And I thought books. You know, I'd worked at the Harvard Archives, and I thought, well, I would like to work in another archives, and there really weren't any archives education programs. But that really opened up a whole world, because my husband gave me very good advice, and he said, don't look for job ads and don't go to personnel offices. Go and talk to the librarians at the 5 colleges. And I did that. And I went to Mount Holyoke first because I thought, that is such an intimidating, it's still somewhat timid. That's such an intimidating looking place with those big brownstone buildings. And I had never been on the campus. I mean, we were oriented to Northampton and Smith, to Amherst, but I never went to South Hadley. And so I went over the Notch on a gorgeous fall day, and I walked onto that campus, which is beautiful. Turned out they didn't have an archivist, and their retired librarian, she went as an undergraduate to Mount Holyoke. She was the librarian at Mount Holyoke, and when she retired, she volunteered to get the archives in shape. And she had been dead for 10 years. And the archives were just enough in shape so that one could access them, but the reference staff went crazy. And she decided the time had come to bring someone in. And that was it. She called me. And I said to Arnold when I went over there, they're not going to want me. I can't make a full-time commitment. He said, well, go and see. And they structured a year for me. That I started work in '73, and I went full-time in '81. And we had many, many problems parenting. And thank God we met them together. But it was not easy. And I think this is a gender thing. I think women look when some women of my generation looked, and if something went wrong, it was often a matter of what did I do wrong? And I was very good at my work. I loved it. I really had the job of organizing the archives, and it was perfect. It was exactly what should have been done. But you have no idea the grief. I mean, I was an officer in the New England Archivists Organization, and how can you possibly organize materials that way? How can you do this? How can you do that? It worked out beautifully, and I did a good job. And the books didn't have psyches. I didn't have to say, was I doing the right thing by them? And so it was very, very important for me to have that picture of myself.